What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Lady Bree, and I'm back with another video. Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Lady Bree, and I'm back with another video. One thing I learned about myself, I just had to get that in real quick before I talk about the video, before I talk about the title. One thing I learned about myself is when I think of a video, I have to go ahead and record it, or otherwise it won't get done. Just because on the strength of me trying to get my content up and coming back from everything that happened with my family, I have to, when I think of something, I have to hurry up and record it. So yeah, so here I am recording a video for you guys. I thought of this video and I thought it would be interesting to talk about it. I really didn't want to even bring this negative energy onto my channel, but it happened to me. I thought it was some good content for you guys, and some people might be going through the same thing. That could probably maybe give me some advice. I could probably give you some advice. So yeah, let's get into the video. This video is how I lost a very close friend of mine of, I want to say 10, 12, maybe even 13, 14 years of friendship. So between 10 and 14 years of friendship, I lost a friend. It was very heartbreaking to me, because I take friendships very, very seriously, especially something that's long, a long time friendship. I take that very seriously. If anything happened between me and that person, I would like to always come together and you know, speak of the problem, see if there's a solution that we could both come to. If I have to apologize, or if that person has to apologize, or we both have to apologize to each other, I like to do that before we completely end the friendship. So let me tell you how I lost a friend of 10 to 15 years. Let's rewind and let's go all the way back. So I have a friend. We're not going to name any names. We're going to name this friend Ashley. So I have a friend Ashley, and we are very close since kids. You know, she moved over to my side of town and we clicked instantly. We started hanging out almost every day. We had a falling out in high school, but neither one of us can remember what the hell it was about. And then we ended up becoming friends again back in high school. I think, like, us becoming friends again, like, I think we were so young that, like, I wasn't, like, I think I got my cell phone first and she got hers, like, later on down the road. So for us to rekindle our friendship, I seen that she had a cell phone, and we were walking out of high school, and I was like, oh, you got a cell phone now, like, that's crazy. And then she's like, yeah. And then we just started talking after that, and just rekindled our friendship. After that, we've been click tight for the longest I can remember, the longest that she can remember. We rekindled a friendship, we became click tight, and sometimes, you know, we wouldn't speak to each other every day. It would be every other day, but that's just how friendships are, you know. Sometimes you just don't speak every day. And we understood that. We knew where our place was in our friendship, so we understood that, and it was very respectable on both of our ends. So let's get into why we are not friends no more. So we had this incident to where she had to get surgery, and I was there for her every step of the way with her surgery. just because that's just the friend I am. And I would, you know, I have my own car, so, but I would use her car, you know, to go get her medicine, to go get, like, you know, little stuff like snacks and stuff like that for her. And then she had this guy she was talking to, and he was using her car as well. And then, like, some issue came about to where I was at work, I had her car, and she was at the rent-a-car place. And so when she was at the rent-a-car place, you know, I guess something happened with the rent-a-car. I don't want to give all the business out there like that, because that's not just who I am. So I'm just going to tell my side of the story. But she was at the rent-a-car place, and something happened with the rent-a-car, and to where that she couldn't get it back anymore. So she called me, you know, she was frustrated, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to get off work, I'm waiting for my relief. As soon as I get off, I'll be there to pick you up, whatever you need me to do. You know, this is your car, whatever you need me to do, I'll be there. So she's like, all right. So as she's, like, you know, waiting for the rent-a-car people to come talk to her, and I'm on the phone with my boss trying to figure out where's my relief at, so I could go home, excuse me y'all, so I could go home and handle this business with my friend. Obviously she needs something done. So my boss is like, your relief will be on the way, your relief will be there at this time, you know, blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. But as I'm on the phone with my boss, I'm still on the phone with my friend, right? So I'm on the house phone for my job, and then I'm on my cell phone with my friend. So as I'm on the phone, I have my friend on mute, and all I can hear is, you know, that bitch better give me my ride back, and I will beat her ass with my cast, and, you know, just because she, you know, she just recently got surgery, so I'll beat her ass with my cast, and da da da, and or my crutches, or whatever she said, and just going off like the whole nine, right? So I'm sitting on the phone like, I can't believe I'm hearing this shit, you know? And so I'm like trying to like hurry my boss up, because I'm like, now I want to say something to my friend, because that's not cool. So my boss gets off the phone, and I'm still listening to the conversation, because she still is going and going and going, how she will beat my ass and all this other extra shit. So I'm like, okay. So she finally, you know, stops talking for a quick second, and I click unmute, and I go, seriously? Seriously, Ashley? Like, you're really going to sit there and just talk massive shit? Like, you're really just going to sit there and just talk massive shit about how you're just going to beat my ass and stuff? Like, what? Like, we didn't have no problems. Like, everything was okay. Like, you were telling me about your frustration. You were telling me everything. Everything was good, you know, between me and you. So she laughed about it and was like, I didn't even know you were still on the phone. You know, whatever. And I'm like, that's not cool. Like, now I got an attitude, because I'm like, that's not cool. Like, I would never, you know, say or do anything like that to a friend of mine, especially how long we've been friends, like, you know. So she was like, oh, well, whatever, and got off the phone. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So 5 minutes later, I get off of work. She ends up calling me back, kind of, sort of apologizes, but like basically apologized to where it was like, yeah, I apologize, take it or leave it type apology, you know? And I'm like, that's not a real ass apology. Like, it's not. Especially how me and you rock, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a real ass apology. So I didn't fuck with that apology. Like, excuse my language, but I didn't mess with that apology. Then after that, you know, I went to go take her. No, I didn't go take her to car. After that, I just chilled. Like, just a weird bullshit ass apology, basically. After that, I, you know, went home. I think she ended up finding a ride or something like that. She went home. I went home. parked her car, whatever. Hours later, you know, she's like, I need my car. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, F you, come get it, your damn self. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing anything for you right now. Like, you just talk hella shit on me she just talked hella shit on me to the guy that she was messing with. So I'm like, you just talk hella shit on me. Like, I don't know if you was trying to front for him or if, like, you were really frustrated. But, like, that don't give you no excuse to talk that much shit on me. Like, you know what I mean? Especially what we've been through. And just the whole night. So, I still don't give it a right. So, after that, you know, she comes in and gets her car. And then we fall out. We fall out for probably weeks. Like, weeks. After that, a friend of ours that is a mutual friend from both of us asked us to, like, basically, like, linked us up, telling us that we need to talk. And it wasn't that serious. And, like, you know, we're good friends to each other. And, you know, we respect each other. So, like, we really need to talk it out. And, like, this person probably thought this way. You know, the other person probably thought the other way. So, after that, also, there was a whole bunch of, like, in-between conversations between me and her. I think, like, yeah, there was, like, in-between conversations. Like, she would say, like, she would text me and then I would text her. But it was just, like, so much animosity that, like, we basically couldn't hear each other. So after all of that, our mutual friend, you know, got us together, obviously. We came together. And she was going through something because one of her friends had passed away. It was, like, that anniversary date or whatever. And, so she was going through something, like, and as a friend of, like, of how long we've been friends, I'm never going to, like, let you rock out like that, you know, just because I know what you've been through. Like, we both know what each other been through, so it's like I still was there, you know what I mean? So after that, that friend's anniversary death date came around and we got together. We had a bottle and we talked, and we probably talked for, like, about a couple minutes, not even, like, probably like 20 minutes. Like, 20 minutes we had a conversation, just me and her. And I told her how I felt. She told me how she felt. She apologized, I apologized, and it was a wrap. But on my end, after I apologized, what I should have said to her was that it's going to take a while for me to actually trust you because of what you actually said. Like, even though we apologized to each other, what you said was, like, super hurtful and hard to, like, trust somebody fully again when they're just talking about beating your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like super hard. So that was my part where I messed up. I should have told her, like, okay, we are cool, but it's going to take some time for me to trust you again. But, you know, without me communicating that to her, I'm obviously assuming, like, maybe she will probably get it, or maybe she will understand. But, like I said, that was my bad, where I should have, you know, communicated. After that, we became friends. Again, we went out. We would go out. I was like, I miss my friends. She'd be like, I miss you too. Like, we wasn't going out, you know. So, like, and that was my going out person too. Like, she was always down for the turn up. I was always down for the turn up. So we would go out. You know, she would come over. I would go over there. Whatever have you. So we start doing, you know, all our old stuff again, you know. But we're still taking baby steps. At least I am. Still taking baby steps. Still not really to tell her everything that's going on in my life just because of what just happened and what she just said. So, with all that being said, we started to hang out and go outside. Like, go to clubs, go to bars, hang out, you know. The whole night. After all of that, situation happened to where a female kept, like, poking Ashley. Like kept poking her. And they would always run into each other. I think they ran into each other probably like 4 or 5 times, but I wasn't around when they ran into each other. She would just always Ashley would always tell me like, I seen her, and this is what happened, Nothing happened though, but this is what happened. Like we argued, or she looked at me away and I looked at her away. You know, it was like a little petty shit like that. So we would talk about it, and then I was like, oh, okay, so nothing happened, so it was all good. Now, weeks go down the line to where me and Ashley goes out, and we're in the after hours. We're partying in the after hours. Now, in the after hours, you know you pretty drunk because to be in the after hours. So I'm in the after hours. I'm drunk. Pretty drunk. I'm dancing. Boom, boom, and then I'm dancing with, you know how females dance with females. So I'm dancing with this female like, oh, go girl, go girl, go girl. What? So my friend Ashley pulls me like, boom. I'm like, yo, what's going on? She's like, that's the girl I was talking to you about. That's the girl I was talking to you about. I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice her. So I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice her. So I backed up. So I started dancing with Ashley. Right? We both jigging. Me and Ashley both jigging, right? So then she like, I'm about to go. I'm like, we ain't doing that. We ain't letting no girl run us out of no club. We ain't doing that. We're going to continue dancing. We're going to continue having fun. We out here for fun. That's what we're going to do. So she like, period, sis. We're doing that. So I'm like, period. So we start jigging some more. Right? Then it's time to go, actually. So as we're leaving the club, she has my hand. We're walking out the club. But as we're walking through the club, I see my cousin. And she has a bottle of Patron, right? So I'm like, cousin. But this is my hand with Ashley. We're holding on to each other. I'm like, cousin. I let go of Ashley's hand to grab the bottle of Patron. So I grabbed the bottle of Patron. I'm taking a shot. We're in the crowd. Now the crowd is like swarming like me and my cousin. So I'm in the I'm taking a shot. I don't know where Ashley is at this point, you know, because I let go of her hand. But like, we're in Pittsburgh. It's very small. So if you know somebody, you know what I mean? So she's probably talking to somebody. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, she's probably talking to somebody. So as I'm taking a shot, we taking a shot. I'm dancing with my cousin. Boom, boom. Like, I ain't ready to leave yet. Like, boom, boom. We dancing in the club, right? Next thing you know, I see my friend Ashley getting picked up by security and thrown out the club. And I'm like, oh, cuzzo, we gotta go. That was Ashley. She just getting picked up out of the club. But I see like a whole like commotion by like the door area. So I'm like, and I see my friend Ashley getting picked up by security out the club. So I'm like, oh, we gotta go. So as I'm like trying to dip through the crowd of the club, I'm dipping through there. I go downstairs. I see the doors are wide open. I see Ashley walk past the doors. Like, as I'm coming down the steps, I see Ashley walk past the door. And I'm like, yo. And she's like, they just jumped me. I'm like, who? Who just jumped you? So she's like, that girl I was telling you about. That girl I was telling you. I'm like, period. Where they at? Where they at? They like that. She like, Ashley like, they on a cobblestone road. I got my cousin with me, right? We both walking. She like, what? If you fighting, I'm fighting. You know what I mean? So we're walking to the cobblestone road. This is where me and Ashley's car is at, correct? We walk into the cobblestone road. Ashley's car is already propped open, like door open, right? So I'm walking past. I'm like, oh, her car's already open, door already open, keys probably already in ignition or whatever. Doors open. I'm taking my earrings out. I throw my phone, throw my watch, throw my purse in Ashley's car. I'm walking up to these two females that jumped Ashley. As I'm walking up to these two females that jumped Ashley, I'm on go, y'all. I'm on go. Ain't no questions being asked, none of that. I'm on go. I'm walking up to these two females right there, standing at the top of the street. I'm walking up to these two females. I look to the right. My bad, y'all. I look to the right. I look to the left. I look behind me. Who's near me? Who's near me? Who's near me, y'all? Can y'all answer that? I'm going to give y'all a second. Put it in the comments. I'm gonna give y'all a second. Who's near me? Who's in my area? Who's around me? Zero. Nobody. Nada. So I look back down the street and I see Ashley in her mother rag. So I'm like, oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. We ain't doing this. We ain't doing this because for one, the reason why we ain't doing this, for one, I have a child. For two, I'm grown as hell. And for three, I have a lot of stuff to lose. You feel me? So I look around and I see Ashley in her car still. So I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing this. So as me walking up to these females, I'm gonna go. But as I see nobody around me, it's two females up there. As I see nobody around me, my whole approach changed. As I'm walking up to these females, my whole approach changed. I'm walking up to these females, and my first approach was like, what's up? Let's go. Let's get it. Now I don't see nobody around me. So I'm like, I'm walking up to these females. Now my approach is like, what happened? What the hell happened? So as I'm going up to these females, I'm like, what happened? They're like, Ashley pushed me in the club. So we started rumbling in the club. And after the club, me and my friend jumped her. So I'm like, alright. But as she's saying all this, I'm like, Ashley, get up here. Like, Ashley, get up here. Ashley, get up here. No Ashley coming up there. So I'm like, alright, whatever. I go back down to Ashley. Ashley's like, what they say? I'm like, they said, the girl said that you pushed her in the club. Y'all started rumbling and then they jumped you outside the club. Oh, she's going crazy. She's going crazy. Now, the two girls that jumped her, they're walking up and down the street. There ain't no pop-off. There ain't no none of that. Like, none of that. There ain't nothing, right? So, I want to come to believe, like, the guy that they're fighting over, you know, it's probably a guy or whatever. But the guy that they're fighting over, the girl is messing with the guy. Ashley used to mess with the guy. So, but they had some type of animosity towards each other for I don't know what reason. But the guy that Ashley used to mess with and the girl that Ashley was fighting is messing with now, holding Ashley back. But the guy also was holding me back as I'm walking up to these females. And I'm like, get off of me. Like, get off of me. I'm angry. Get off of me. Like, they just jumped my friend. Like, get off of me. Like, get off of me. So I pushed him out my way. He gets off of me. Walking up to these females, right? So my whole approach changed, right? After all that happened, nothing else happened after the club. No fighting, no nothing. There was nothing going on. I ended up pulling off. Ashley ended up pulling off. Ashley pulled off first. I ended up pulling off. And the girls that was fighting pulled off later. I don't know what they did. But after all of that, the next day comes around. After the next day comes around, I call Ashley, you know. I'm talking to her, you know, everything's good and Gucci. Talking to her, I'm like, y'all, I lost my Apple Watch. I gotta find my Apple Watch. She's like, I lost my keys, like, da-da-da. So I find my iPhone. I find my Apple Watch back at the after hours. So I'm like, I'm gonna go get my Apple Watch. I go get my Apple Watch. Thank God it's still on the ground. No crack, nothing. I go grab my Apple Watch. Guess whose keys is right next to the Apple Watch? Ashley's. So I grab her keys. I FaceTime her. She don't answer. I FaceTime her again. She finally answered. I dangle the keys in the FaceTime. She's like, oh my God, you're a lifesaver. Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah, then my Apple Watch was right next to him. Da, da, da. So after all of that, we had a conversation. We hang up. The next day, I'm at work. Ashley calls me and she's like, she has a whole different approach this day. Like, she's like, where were you at? Why didn't you punch them girls when you walked up to them? And why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I said, hold on. So let me tell you why. And just let me know if I'm crazy. Let me know if I'm wrong. Just let me know. So let me tell you why I didn't punch those girls when I walked up to them. Let me tell you why. Because, for one, you was in the ride. For two, I walked up there by myself. For three, this is your fight. And for four, I have a kid. I can't afford to go to jail. I can't. And for five, I have a job where I can't afford to go to jail. And for six, I'm grown as hell. And for seven, I'm not even that guy. Like, you feel me? So that was like all my 7 reasons, right? Then and there. And she's like, you know, that was messed up. You should have did this, that, and the third. Where were you in the club? Like, I held your hand. I said, for one, you know I let your hand go. I let your hand go when we was walking through the club to leave because I seen my cousin. And we took a shot. And then for two, why the hell would you even push this female? For no reason. Like, why? If you seen her 4 or 5 times, why didn't you push her then? Why didn't you do anything then? You get what I'm saying? Like, now all of a sudden, you push this female. For what? For why? There was no reason to. There was no reason to start commotion. There was no reason. None. Nada. Zippo. None. So, all of that, I told her. I hung up on her because I said I'm not dealing with this. I hung up on her. And I texted her later on that day when I got off of work. And I said, look, I'm very, 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 very hurt and disappointed. Excuse me, I'm very hurt and disappointed of how you even said those things. Like, how you probably even said, like, why I didn't do this or why I didn't do that. Sorry, Bubba. I'm very disappointed of why you even said those things, because I'ma always ride for you. But if you're not beside me to go up to these females and you're in the ride. And she was like, well, Ashley was like, well, I wasn't going to let you get jumped. Like, if you would have punched them, I wasn't going to let you get jumped. And I'm like, if you're all the way down the street in the car and a man is holding you back, if you're all the way down the street and I'm all the way up the street talking to 2 of these females that just hit you, where the hell are you at in that middle? Where? If this is your fight, you should be the one on super go. Like, I'm on go, but you should be on super go. You know what I'm saying? So, where? So, I text her all of that, and, you know, I was hurt, disappointed, and the whole 9. After that, it was a wrap. We haven't talked since then. And then, after that, she actually went around the neighborhood that, you know, that I'm from, or just people that we know, and basically told everybody that I let her get jumped. I was like, oh, I'm appalled. Like, I'm appalled. Like, so there were certain people that wanted to hear my side of the story. There were certain people that didn't wanted to hear my side of the story. And I didn't care whether you did or you did. But I know what I did. And I know what I did was right. And I know what I did as a friend was right. And I know that as a mother and as a 29-year-old black woman, I don't need to be getting into none of that little kid bullshit drama. Now, don't mind me. Like, if some stuff pop off and I gotta whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, best believe I'm a whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. But I don't put myself in those positions. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't put myself in those positions to where I have to whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Because I have a child to think of, for one. I have a job to think of, for two. I have a career that I want to get to, as in my YouTube career, or maybe it might be postal. Like, you know what I mean? I have a career. I have a goal in my mind. I have stuff that I want to accomplish. And going to jail at 28, I was 28 at the time, going to jail at 28 years old and having a kid, and not going home to your kid, like, over some stuff that's not even your fight. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it was like beyond me. Like, I have stuff I need to live for, and I don't need to be going to court. I don't need to be going to jail. I don't need to be sitting in a holding cell. I don't need no charges on me. I don't need none of that. Like, none of that. I don't need to be taking classes because I was drinking. Like, I don't need none of that. All that stuff is going to slow me down in what I want to do in my life and my career. So I haven't talked to her since then, and we let bygones be bygones. I do see her out here and there. We don't speak. We don't be on that rah-rah extra stuff when we're out and we see each other. She go her way, I go mine, and that's the end of it. It's very hurtful that I lost a friend just off of that situation, but at the same time, I was able to think positive about it and say, well, okay, I lost a friend because of that situation, but also understand that where she's at is not where I'm at, and where I'm at, she's not at. Did I just say that backwards? Where she's at, I'm not at, and where I'm at, she's not at. Okay, that's right. And sometimes it's okay. Sometimes you grow apart as friends, and I had to learn that everybody cannot come with you on your journey. Yes, life is short, and yes, we had years and years and years of friendship, but sometimes you just cannot bring them along with you, and it's sad and it hurts, but at the end of the day, that's just how it is. So yeah, y'all, that's how I lost a friend of between 10 to 15 years of friendship. Put some love in the comments. Let me know what you think of the story. Like, am I right? Not even right? Did I do the right thing? Like, I'm not asking y'all for like confirmation, but because I'm at peace with it and I'm fine with it now. This happened like months and months ago. I'm at peace with it now. But yeah, so just put some love in the comments. Let me know what y'all think of the story. Let me know about, you know, my side. Let me know if, like, girl, you're tripping, or you're crazy, or you was right, girl, I understand, hey, you got a career, shoot it. That's the end of the story time on how I lost my friend of so long. But I'm good. I'm Gucci. No worries here. Don't have to worry about me. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I love y'all. But yeah, y'all. So like, comment, and subscribe. If you ain't subscribed to this channel, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're doing if you're not subscribed to this channel. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing if you're not subscribed? Like, hit that subscribe button. Hit it. Like, hit it right now. Like, you hit it? Okay, because, like, I don't know what you're doing if you're not subscribed. But like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends, your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your Grammy. Send it to all of them. Share it to all of them. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.